Hello everyone, welcome to the JD Theory. We cover NWA Powerrr, WWE Monday Night Raw every single day of the week, and this is the final episode of NWA 77. If you enjoy wrestling content, like, subscribe, and share the video as well. Thank you, and let's get into this week's episode. As you know, all in one shot. We do this podcast every week, and I want to apologize in advance for the lack of uploads happening recently. My girlfriend had strep throat. I was pretty under the weather. Lasted way longer than I could have anticipated, but here we are. NWA, you're getting the episode. El Dragon Nihon and Max the Impaler. This is the first bout to open this week's episode, and I know Max is no longer with the company, so this must have been filmed right before the split happened. This might be the last appearance of Max we get in NWA Powerrr, but this is a straight up, it's a battle of monsters. Commentary drops a great line, kaiju battle. I think it's very fitting, right? And this match, off rip, let's get right into it. It spills to the outside pretty quickly with the guardrail at play. It's honestly interesting. We see Max take visible damage. Usually Max the Impaler, completely no seller, but Nihon, he's a mountain of a man, right? You gotta sell against Dragon Nihon, who last time we saw him, he was against Tom Latimer for the NWA Heavyweight Championship, which we will be talking about at the end of this episode. Of course, we have the NWA World Heavyweight Championship match in the main event. But yeah, we're starting with El Dragon Nihon versus Max the Impaler. And once we get back in the ring, after it's spilled to the outside, we get back in the ring. Max gets some heavy offense until Gags comes out with a steel chair. Now, this is where things kind of, I don't want to say get worse, but I will say this match never got into full gear, really, because we see Gags come in, and it was a huge mistake on Gags' part, right? Because Max pile drives Gags through a steel chair on the entrance stage. And I failed to mention this earlier, this is a Falls Count Anywhere, no disqualification match. So the chairs and the outside pins, they all occur in this match within legality. And Dragon would land an extremely meaty chair shot, then powerbomb into Max on top of a chair. So if you've been watching this match, you know damn well it was quick, it was explosive, but we saw El Dragon Nihon get the win. This is probably, as I said earlier, the last match we see of Max the Impaler in NWA. So, just want to put it out there. Thank you, Max the Impaler. Very excited to see what you do outside of this league, this company. It was very sudden news. I got it on my MSN. I was at work, and I have the MSN articles pulled up while I'm working, just keeping up with all the news, all the what-haves, what-nots. Excuse me. And right back into it, Father James Mitchell, he comes out with the lost post-match. And honestly, I don't know what's happening. They're almost handling Gags like he's this sacrificial lamb to Max the Impaler. But maybe, I don't know, because we don't see what happens afterwards. We cut to some promos. Maybe if you were there in person in Huntington and at the Paramount, you could tell me what happens. Leave it in the comment section. But do they sacrifice Gags to Max the Impaler? Or was it like a fake out and they all jump Max the Impaler? Because this could be a convenient way to write Max off of NWA. Either way, I'm sure we're going to figure it out next week on Powerrr. They're very good at keeping continuity. We get to some promos. We hear from Knox and Murdoch in regards to their tag team title defense coming up against Immortal. And I'll admit, the build, it's been a bit lacking. I mean, they spent so much time on the Eric Smalls situation, but I'm not mad about it, because that stuff, it was hilarious, honestly. And we also hear from Odinson and Kratos briefly leading into the match as well. It's pretty much generic promo material. I'm pretty hyped for this one, just for the teams alone. You know, Crockett Cup winners versus NWA Tag Team Champions. It's a recipe for success, right? These are good teams. And after these promos, we would get right into the match, because this is only a 3-match episode, because we got big stakes on the line. We got heavy-hitting monster match, and now we have the Tag Team Championships. NWA Tag Team title is on the line, of course, and Eric Smalls actually comes out to ringside, supposedly here to sabotage Knox and Murdoch. Of course, he's aligning with the Immortals, but they're pretty slow to reveal why Eric is here. Of course, he's going to have some interference, but they played it pretty smart in terms of booking, because we don't see an immediate repercussion of him being there. They kind of let it linger, you forget about it, and then at the end, Eric Smalls comes back out. But Trevor Murdoch, he comes out swinging on Odinson, while Mike Knox takes out Kratos on the outside. They isolate Odinson from the start, and Knox and Murdoch, they would stay in control for the first half of this match. And right after this, we get a mid-match promo from Tom Latimer. He's addressing Thrillbilly Silas Mason. Of course, he takes the "I'll build you up to tear you down" angle. He respects Thrillbilly as an athlete, but not as a man. We also get Natalia Markova flaunting her victory as the new NWA Women's Champion. Well-deserved. She plays the role well, and I hope for an awesome reign with a great new champion. We then cut back to the match. Knox and Murdoch, they're controlling the match with a lot of tagging in, tagging out, showing their experience, keeping the pace in their favor. But after Murdoch, he tries chopping Kratos, we see some life from the challenger. Now, Kratos would get some chops in himself, also hits a nasty Pele kick, and after some back and forth and out-of-ring nonsense, we get the hot tags. Odinson comes pretty fresh. I mean, he was getting beat up early in the match, but I think the hot tag, Kratos has been taking the heat long enough to where it's justified. And, you know, Mike Knox comes in. But once Kratos, Odinson would be in control for a little bit, but when Kratos comes back in, it gets dicey. But I will say, Eric Smalls, he takes control on the outside, gets a nut shot on Murdoch, and this would open the window because Knox is mic'd down. The window opens up, and Odinson and Kratos, they're able to land immortality on Mike Knox. They would walk out the new NWA Tag Team Champions. And this was good to see, man. I mean, being the Crockett Cup winners, it was a hype moment. I mean, we saw the buildup of this from the start of this season, the start of last season, because I guess they start the season towards the end of the year. I don't know. I'm only recently into NWA. I've only been covering it since I've been watching it for a few months, and I figured, you know, somebody might as well watch this, but somebody might as well cover this. I know a lot of people are watching it, but we get new tag team champions. And I will say, NWA, a lot of titles have changed hands at NWA 77. I just wonder, what do we do with Knox and Murdoch next? Because the Eric Smalls thing, as funny as it is, I don't know if we want to retread in that too far. Because, of course, we can run that again. We could do the whole beating up Eric Smalls bit. It's funny. but we've seen it already, especially in the build-up to 77. But yeah, after this match, after we get our new tag team champions, we would get some promos. We see the Holy Grail talking backstage. It's Pretty Boy Smooth, he calls out Aaron Stevens, and he acknowledges, oh, you got the loaded gloves, I got the lotus fists. And he's ready to use it. We also cut to the Page House. Kenzie, she's being interviewed after losing the title. She acknowledges her 2-year reign, which was very impressive, especially considering how young she is. She has a long career ahead, and the rematch gets acknowledged as well. But Kenzie, she seems unsure if that's what she's going to be doing in the near future. I guess we'll wait and see. But of course, after this, we do get our main event. Tom Latimer versus Thrill Billy Silas Mason. Thrill Billy Silas Mason. English is a hard language, alright? And before this match even starts, I must say, I am super hype for this main event. The NWA World Heavyweight Championship is on the line, and this is Latimer's 32nd title defense since winning it at NWA 76, and the resume of victories, it's been extremely impressive and extremely expansive. And both these guys, off rip, great physical condition for this big match. Right when things kick off, we're seeing a new version of Thrill Billy. I mean, commentary, they call it best. He's leaner, he's meaner, and he's focused. We get a lot of back and forth drama at the beginning. Thrill Billy taking the first lead, clotheslining Latimer to the outside. Mason takes the padding off the outside, but Tom is able to capitalize with a Russian leg sweep. They wouldn't be back in the ring for too long. Thrill Billy clotheslines them back outside again, now on an unprotected floor, And I just gotta say, this match, it has a big match feel to it. Not a single spot is wasted. And that's very rare nowadays. Everything feels monumental. This is a real championship match. Mason, he hits a huge avalanche fall-away slam. The crowd pops huge for this, and Thrill Billy would assume control for the next minute or so in the match. And right before we get to this, a random mid-match thought I had, and I'm just going through my notes, I'm reading them as they appear, of course. Thrill Billy, he feels like a huge star in the making. The dude is the complete package, and I'm rooting for him this whole match, even though he's clearly the heel, and I like Tom Latimer. I love the work he's been doing, and even his last 2 defenses against Rhino and Colby Carino, and then the match against El Dragon Nihon, all amazing. Tom Latimer's been doing great work, but this is Thrill Billy's time, man. And for a second, it looks like Latimer would take control until Thrill Billy lands a huge thrill ride. And holy hell, Tom kicks out. Just before he could hit another, Tom lands a massive powerbomb, and Thrill Billy kicks out. And the crowd is chanting, "This is awesome." Because honestly, what else can you feel watching something like this? This was absolutely amazing. The whole sequence leading up to this moment, it felt huge. This is a huge moment. This is a huge match, and it's a great cap-off to NWA 77 because we've had a lot of great matches on this card thus far. And I'm with the people in the audience chanting "This is awesome" because this is awesome, literally. And excuse my language in advance, but holy shit, man. After a ton of finisher counters exchanged, a ton of almost false finishes, they're going off the ropes, they keep trying to get each other's moves off, Thrill Billy lands another thrill ride, and he gets the 3 count. New NWA World Heavyweight Champion. And keep in mind, no interference from the Southern Six at all. Wow. Thrill Billy Silas Mason is our new champion and won completely clean over Tom Latimer. I absolutely loved it. Now, yeah, that's the recap for you. And it makes me wonder, right? Because there's a lot of things going on. This was the biggest event NWA has every year, and we saw a lot of talent. But mainly, I'm curious what we see happen moving forward. This is like that post-WrestleMania season for NWA Powerrr. I want to see Thrill Billy in this new character, this leaner, meaner, and focused Thrill Billy. I want to see him on the mic. I want to see a slightly different dynamic. I think Thrill Billy, as a performer, is versatile enough to showcase a different side of him on the microphone. I want to see more promos, more vignettes, because honestly, even though he's great in ring as a big man, I think on the microphone is where he shines the best. I want to see in-ring promos. Give him the microphone. Let him talk in front of the people. That's what I want to see. And who else do we got? I mean, Tom Latimer. I don't know what we do with Tom from this point on. I guess maybe the rematch is... I don't even know. Is that inevitable? If we do get it, I want to see Thrill Billy retain. This is really exciting, and it's in the moment. As for the Holy Grail, I think we get the Holy Grail versus the Immortals next. I know the Colognes are probably the best fit for next in line, but they do a ton of stuff. They're all over the place. I think a solid program. Of course, we're going to see Pretty Boy Smooth versus Aaron Stevens, or maybe Carson Drake, because Aaron Stevens might pull the I don't want to fight card. Heck, maybe Cousin Lockjaw. Who knows? All I know is that I want to see the Holy Grail compete for those tag team titles. I don't care how we get there. Maybe they take down the Slime Balls, because Aaron Stevens, sends the Slime Balls out to fight the Holy Grail. Who knows? Either way, give me Immortals versus the Holy Grail. I'll be a happy man. And what else do we got? I mean, dude, we got Brian Idol. I think he's going to win all 7 of his title defenses, and he's going to cash in whenever he gets the chance. Same for the women's side. I think we're going to see Tiffany Naev win all of her 7 matches, and she is going to face Natalia Markova. But I want to see Markova win whenever that happens down the line. Markova's been great. NWA just feels really healthy right now. It feels like maybe the most eyes are on it. I won't say ever, but in a really long time, right? NWA with the Roku deal, we're seeing things happen. Billy Corgan's done a great job as a promoter. He's bringing it to the concerts. He's bringing it just on interviews. He talks about it a lot. The promotion and the streaming deal, of course, is huge. We're seeing a lot of stuff happen. Now, I'm going to continue to cover NWA Powerrr, even though we're getting into that post-Crockett Cup, post-77 season. I'm curious what they do in this time, because most wrestling promotions, after the big events, you see a considerable fall-off, for lack of a better word. Look at TNA Bound for Glory, what they did after that Mike Santana win. We're seeing they gave the title back to Frankie Kazarian. Well, not back to Frankie, but Santana lost the title really quick. And then after SummerSlam, WWE's been kind of in a pitfall. It's picking back up because we're very close to War Games, but you know what I'm talking about. We feel it every year, that fatigue-like time of the year, and this would probably be NWA's. But it's too early to call. I'm still locked in on the product, and you're going to get these reviews weekly. I'm going to try to do this for at least a year, see what happens, see who comes along. Still, to my knowledge, I'm the only one covering NWA Powerrr to this extent, so yeah, if you enjoy NWA Powerrr, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. We do tier lists about music, wrestling, and occasionally we throw the random topic in there. I just recently did a fast food tier list. If you want to watch that, it was pretty fun. But yeah, man, or woman, who's ever watching this, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe. See you next time. Bye-bye.